Right.
What is happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geek Out channel. This is another fight talk with the BMAs, the basic MMA analysts, two brothers across the world who just are connected through our passion of mixed martial arts, and we just geek out about it every week and give our thoughts on the fights and our perspectives on the MMA world from the basic MMA analyst perspectives. We're two basic dudes just geeking out about fighting. I'm joined by my boy K West. What's happening, brother? How are you, man?
I'm very well. I'm very well. Thank you. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's been crazy, man. It's been crazy trying to get my head around everything. I've just come back off the plane and from Cancun. You're coming back soon, aren't you?
Friday. I can't wait, brother.
I'm coming
Cannot
back
wait.
soon as well. How long is the flight?
About less than 8 hours, 7 hours, something like that. So not too bad. I
Mm.
mean, I still don't like it, but it's better than freaking Singapore, which was almost double that. So forget that.
Yeah, I hear that. But yeah, I'm just trying to get my feet back on the ground and whatnot. Do you reckon we can actually get a podcast in the same fucking space for a change when you come back?
We have to. We have. I'm gutted that we're gonna miss the vote fight because I'm gonna be in Poland. So I'm gutted about that. But we
Ah,
can I'm back on the Monday. Maybe we do that one. We can't watch it together. I mean, it might be late though. It might be late because I'm back from Poland on Monday, and maybe on like that week we can catch up and do the podcast. But it might be late in regards to just talking about the fights. But maybe we could do it actually because I don't know what other time we'll have. But anyway, there'll be a fight card. Let's freaking do it, man. We should freaking do it. That Vogue fight, that card would have been the most perfect one to do it. It's a big UFC card and whatnot, but maybe we could just do it on a fight night or whatever. Or like I say, like from after the Vogue fight, I come back from Poland on a Monday. I'm back at work on Tuesday, but maybe during that week, we just find the evening. I'll come meet you. We'll meet somewhere and do the podcast.
what time do you come? Okay, we'll talk about it afterwards. But
Yeah,
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 let's just
we
do
have
something.
to. This is
We
our goal.
have
One goal for that
yeah,
month is we do one podcast live together in London.
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna put it on the board of wonders, right? That's the whiteboard of shit to do. I'm gonna put it on there for shit to do.
We have to. That's a goal that
Short
we have to
term,
reach.
long term, yeah, needs to be on there, 100%. 100%.
Definitely, man. But yeah,
How you been doing? Yeah, go on.
yeah, no, just that you've been traveling. I mean, like, you're all settled now. I mean, like now you can settle a little bit and then think about next steps. Have you settled and getting on track for the next steps and whatnot for your adventures?
Yeah, in a sense, that's why the board is open because I hadn't looked at the. Let me just explain this, right? I one of my best friends, he said to me like, you need a visual board. Do you have a visual board?
I don't
No.
actually. No, no. You're right though. Look, my wife has one. Kibla has one. I don't. I
Yeah,
need to have one.
yeah. I thought the same thing too because I was just like, yeah, I got it in my head. I know what I'm doing. I don't need any of this stuff. I need right now. Like it's me, in, right? And then you just do it. But my friend, he flipped the script on me one time because I said to him one day, because he was working for somebody and he was going through some motions and stuff. And I said to him like, "Well, what do you want to do? Like, you got this situation. What's your next move? What's your next steps? Yeah, working for somebody, they're giving you headache. Like, how are you going to get out of this? Like, don't worry about what's happened. What's the solution?" And I said that to him a long time ago, a couple of years ago, and since then he's found his way and now he works for himself and so on. And I was in the mix when I was just a bit like confused, like, oh man, I don't know what to do. And he said, "Remember you told me that thing that day? Yeah. What's your plan? What are you doing? You need the visual board. You need to have this stuff written down so you know what you're doing." And I was like, wow, like the mentor kicked the teacher in the face. you know, I couldn't believe I never thought I showed him that leaf hurricane kick, but I did. And he gave it to me, and I was like, damn. So I bought a whiteboard and started putting things down. And so anyway, I say all of that to say that I am shaping how I'm going to be doing my next moves and what I need to be doing now. And I've recently just got a new job to work online. So I'm just putting like in my head, I want to go back to Thailand in August. That's what I've put down. So I've been telling people. So I'm manifesting that shit as right here and right now. So I've given myself the end of August, which is my birthday, a gift to myself to go back to Thailand. So that's what it looks like. Am I settled? You could say so. Physically, mentally, I'm a bit all over the place. So I've had to just really just be like, okay, because I spent a whole 2 weeks of just being on Cancun and getting all inclusive, drinks when you want to, food whenever it's ready. And now I gotta go shopping. Nah.
Wait, I need to go buy some groceries? What the fuck?
Eggs,
Bring me my
hey,
tomatoes, man.
exactly. Hey, Manuel, come on, man. Like, and I'm like,
Reality
right, yeah,
hits.
exactly. So that's what I'm kind of going through that at the moment. But yeah, I'm gonna punch it in the teeth real soon.
Yeah, nice, good. Well, listen, we need reality, man, because that kind of lifestyle, living that forever, maybe it might be, but I think for our mind frames, eventually you'll be like, hold on, I'm like, I don't know, but I don't think we will last because people bringing us shit and not doing anything, not being in the real world. I've been having this conversation with my wife
Oh,
a
big
lot recently
conversation.
about
Yeah.
Dubai and whatnot,
Go on.
just the bubble that people live in here. Like
Okay.
I've always lived. I've been an expat in Hong Kong, in Singapore, and now in Dubai. They've always been bubbles. I think Dubai's bubble is the worst one I've ever seen, because
Oh, why is that?
people are so unaware of how do I put it, the bullshits that go on. Because Dubai, the way it portrays itself is like the most perfect city visually. You look at it, it's beautiful, and it is. And you got all these beautiful things and buildings and landscapes, and they're building the Palm Beach and all this stuff. Visually, you're like, wow, this place is the perfect city. And when you're in it, there's a lot of bullshit. And what I realized is that bullshit, you only experience it if you are in it and doing it, right? And what I mean by that, the people in the bubble, I'm talking about the expats that I know and whatnot, they don't do it. They just pay people to do it. Hey, I need to rent a place. I need to get my electric bill. I need to get my car. Here's money to people. You guys go do it for me. So they deal with all the stress and the bullshit, or that's their job or whatnot. So the individual who just pays people to do it will never know how much bullshit goes behind it because they're like, I just paid you for it. You go handle that. And because I'm the one who's dealing with it, me and my wife here, we're paying for it. We're not paying for people to do it. We're doing it ourselves. You realize how much bullshit it is. So, what I'm saying is like, okay, cool. You don't understand. You don't know what's outside because you're in your bubble. You don't know what the bullshit of handling things. But then I'm like, you know what? Yes, it might be nice and it'll be stress-free, but you know what it's going to show is we can handle it and we can survive and deal with it ourselves. And it's fucking frustrating. And they go angry and I turn Incredible Hulk and smash things and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we resolve it, we can handle it and whatnot. And I don't think I can live in a bubble constantly. Like, yes, sometimes maybe it'll be nice, but would life be without challenges like that? Would life be that great? I mean, that's why I freaking do jiu-jitsu and get smashed every week because it's a challenge every week, right? And not just that, but many other things. Like, but as an example, it's a challenge every week. Like, can I do that? Can I mentally overcome it? And can I physically overcome it? And then could I mentally train for it and physically train for it to just get better at it and have a better session or whatever? But same with that, can I, I've got friends that lived in such a bubble that they don't even know that existed. I was speaking to a friend the other day who was like, gee, like I can relate to you because when I first moved here, I worked for a government job. They handled everything, apartment, car, everything. Yeah. I lived in the city, beautiful apartment. Everything was perfect, finger quotes. Now, after I left that job and I started I started my own thing or whatever, he started working for a startup. He's like, now I had to go rent my own apartment. I had to go buy my own car. I had to do all of this shit myself. And then I really experienced how hard it is to get all that stuff sorted in Dubai because I had to do it myself. He goes, so now I've seen both sides of it. So, I just don't think, with our mentality, it's like, yes, it's nice to get it all done, but I think it's better for our minds to go through that stress, to overcome that bullshit. And then at the end be like, all right, cool. I did it. I know I can survive. If I ever have to do it again, I know it's stressful. I know I'm going to go Hulk, but I know I could do it. You know what I mean? And I think that relates to many things in life, not just, trying to settle in Dubai, but you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I mean, there's no testimony without a test.
Exactly.
So,
and you talking about getting your food, like, one from being on vacation, because that's what some vacations are supposed to be about, right? enjoying that lifestyle. Now you got to go get your own groceries. That's one thing. Could you imagine like taking it to the next step and hunting or growing your own food? Like that's the ultimate satisfaction though. Like it's a hustle, but imagine that. That's the ultimate satisfaction. I grew this tomato and I'm gonna, you know, eat it. I went and hunted for, you know, the meat you eat. That's a satisfaction that, you know, a lot of people won't be able to, I personally can't, you know what I'm saying? I don't go hunt. What am I gonna, I ain't doing shit out here. But
could imagine just sprint down and just like fucking
on the desert trying to tackle a freaking cow or camel or something.
Yeah, I can see you coming out the bushes just running and just sprinting, mounting this rabbit and just going,
Bro, I wouldn't even know what to do, man. I wouldn't, but I could definitely appreciate the satisfaction of what hunters must go through when they hunt for their meat, and like I said, people who grow their vegetable farmers and whatnot. Not the, you know, the processed stuff. I'm talking about real farmers and whatever.
We're built for that though. We you know, as humans, you know,
of course,
like
yeah.
we're actually built. We become lazy as a civilization because initially, like, okay, let me give you an example. Do you have to eat something before you go and train?
I don't know, no.
Okay,
obviously I train fasted, right? So I eat my meals in the evening, yeah.
Okay, that's good. So you're one of the, well, you tapped into your primal instinct. There's a lot of people who have to eat something before they train. You know,
I heard that.
A lot of people, they're like, oh, I have to have a bite of something before. And I think to myself, like, the Neanderthal dumb motherfuckers that they were way back then, they had no choice to do that. Like, they had to go and sprint for miles and go through treacherous lands and whatnot to even get one grape. Let alone 5 grapes and a piece of a rabbit's tail. So like, yeah, like we are built for that. We just become lazy. And me being, you know, on a beautiful beach, food whenever I want it and drink whenever I ask for it, it's made me fucking lazy.
Listen, man, you're on vacation though. You're on vacation. Sometimes that's needed. We have the luxury to do that and the finance, all that stuff. So it's great that we can experience it. But you're right though. I mean, listen, I've met so many people like, oh, I can't train. I need to get some energy. I'm like, you can mentally. You just haven't. It's a mental thing. You know, I'm trying to say, how the hell do I do it? How do we do it during Ramadan? How do normal athletes do it? It's because mentally you're telling yourself, I need to eat. But that's like everyone, you know. I tried to talk to my father about it, and he's like, oh, I got to eat my breakfast. I'm like, Dad, then how do you do it during Ramadan? Oh, no, that's different. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It is not, but because you put so much in the belief of the faith, which is beautiful, and it's able for you to fast all day, have that same mentality every day. But you know, the general, like we've been programmed and conditioned in a different way, man. From you know, business, bro. Business changed us. I'm talking about from like cereal to doctors lying about sugar and to everything. We just McDonald's and all those fast food places. We have just been conditioned by the mainstream businesses and all that sort of stuff. Businesses is greedy people, man. People in charge, business owners. They've you know conditioned us in a way where it's bad for us. You know what I mean? But
heavily.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do, man? What are we gonna do? I mean, like, I don't want to say that we're awake, but we're in some way we are, and hopefully we can influence that on our loved ones. But it's not easy though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember you telling me, and I got other friends who are like freaking studied, you know, physical training and dietitian and nutrition and studied that, and you're telling your loved ones, got a degree in this shit, like please don't eat that or eat this or balance yourself, and they still don't want to listen to you. But that's just because they're so conditioned. You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's really conditioned into it. I try and tell my parents all the time because you know my father's getting older and whatnot, but he's like, oh, I got to, and the doctor said I got to take these pills and I got it. Like, damn, you know.
That's you see, like my old man. I remember during COVID, and I know this is probably a buzzword for many people, so I'll keep it real short, but you know, he was really adamant I take the vaccination because people are dropping and the studies say this and the studies say that and so on, and you know, all these things. And we didn't really talk much. We didn't really have a great relationship anyway. But in this regard, I saw him a couple of times and he was like, okay, Kurt, you must do this, and tell your nephew, his grandson, you should do the same thing as well. Well, a couple months later, that all that talk went quiet. You know why? Because they said that if you're a doctor or you're a nurse, you don't have to take the vaccination, right? And they are the ones dealing with the ill people. So if they don't have to do it, then I don't have to do it, right? And the government's the one telling everybody they must do this, they must do that. You got to walk with your back up straight. You got to eat this, take vitamins, all this stuff. And it showed me he's quite a by the book person. If they say left or right, you must follow those rules. And he never talked about it afterwards, because the world is now a bit more open, and people don't have to take vaccinations to go on flights and trips, and to get groceries you have to have a map. Like, all this stuff went, so the older generation, some of them, they are really wrapped up in that mold that these people know better than us. So 5 people that are in the government know better than 5 million people? No.
I don't blame them. The thing is, though, I don't blame them, because really we do turn to them, right? And we have supposed to finger quote, trust them, but it's all bullshit. I mean, listen, like, the sugar industry and whatnot paid off those scientists, and they said, to say that sugar was not the issue based on, diseases and diabetes. And now we find out that that's fake. But again, people have been programmed for so long because, after all these years, I mean, even with doctors these days, take this pill, take that pill. My dad's on so many pills because the doctor says so. And I'm like, Dad, man, if you just fix your diet and take these vitamins, it's way more valuable than pills. But he would do a little bit, but he's still fixated on like, no, the doctor said I got to take these from my mum. But with the vaccine as well, like for me, if I had a choice, I wouldn't have taken it. But the government in Singapore didn't allow me to go to a mall or get on the bus if I wasn't vaccinated, right? So I had no choice. So they put people in position. But if I was in the Western world and I had a choice, I would definitely wouldn't have taken it. But my mother took the booster and she hasn't had her taste or her smell back for, was it 1.5 years now? Man, it's horrible, man. Some other people suffered worse, but that's even just taste and smell for 1.5 years. My mom's like, I haven't tasted my food in that long. I'm heartbroken for my mother, man, because of this fucking bullshit.
Still can't.
Still to this day, can't. No. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't have got vaccinated. I'm not saying
we're not even getting into all of that.
Yeah, we're not getting into, but the fact of the matter is, my mother still to this day cannot get her taste back or thing back. So but that's not their fault, though. I don't blame them. It's the people in charge. And the thing is, like, I'm not saying that I'm awake and I know better than them. I go to them too, bro. Like, I'm like, I want to trust in you too. But after all it is, like, how do you trust them? But I trust in Joe Rogan and the scientists that he get on more than the government. And you know what? Some people say to me, why would you trust them? I'm like, well, everyone, you know what? We all pick and choose who we trust. So if you want to trust the government and the mainstream media, I can't blame you. I choose to trust someone like Joe Rogan and his podcast. That's who I choose. So we all pick and choose who we want to trust. Really, the only way you as an individual will ever know, go be a scientist, go study, go be a scientist, you do the test, come back to me 50 years later when you got your degree and you've done the test, and then tell me what you think. But really, as us as people, we have to learn from someone, you know what I mean? Like, from anything. I'm talking about any education, you know what I'm trying to say? Be it gym, be it health. We have to learn from someone and test it on ourselves. But you will never know unless you go and become a scientist and test your blood and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, because people try and tell me, why would you listen to Joe Rogan? I'm like, well, why would you listen to the mainstream media? Well, it's because the mainstream. I'm like, listen, man, we just picked and choose who we decide to believe in,
What's the argument for that when you challenge that? What's that?
Well, it's the mainstream media, isn't it? Oh, it's the Wall Street Journal. I work for the Wall Street Journal. Right? Don't fire me yet. I shouldn't even say that. No, I'm not saying the mainstream. I'm not saying the mainstream media, and not just the Wall Street. I'm talking about BBC and New York Times and all of them rubbish, right? I'm not saying that they're fake news. I'm saying they're more narrative news. Like, this is what the narrative is. You know what I'm trying to say? They're saying social media is fake news. I fucking agree with that. There's a lot of fake news on social media. It comes down to what you pick and choose. Some people go so down the rabbit hole, they go crazy with the fake news and all this sort of stuff. So it just picks and choose. Like, I've chosen, after years of listening to Joe Rogan, left, right, center, him correcting himself, getting on different experts, I've made a decision that, you know what, I believe in what Joe Rogan says, and I'm always going to listen to him. And a lot of stuff that I don't agree with what he says, but he has an open platform where he allows people to come on and give both sides of the story. So I'm just like, well, that's the guy I'm going to choose. That's the media source, if I want to pull it, that I'm going to choose to listen to. But mainstream media is there. I think that they are the biggest. They control people, and that's the main thing. And it's unfortunate that they don't give. Again, I'm not telling you they give fake news. I think they just give news that dictates the narrative of the world, or dictates a narrative of something that's supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah. I believe for sure. I mean, one example before we move on, which I thought was like it's a perfect Exhibit A situation, was remember when France were going through something because the president put certain legislation through, people wasn't happy, they were burning stuff. Remember that? I think I was still away by that time, a couple months ago. Right. You go on to TikTok and you type in France, and they show you all the people burning stuff and all the uproar and protest, and just a lot of unhappy French men and women. Yeah. By typing in France in TikTok, you go to Instagram, you type in France, they give you pictures of Kylian Mbappe, the president, the Eiffel Tower, French fries, all this other stuff, except what's really going on. And I thought, wow. End quote.
That's it. I mean, that's like Israel and the situation with Israel and Palestine. With Palestine, you're going to get the media telling you terrorists, Palestine terrorists, and Israel defending themselves, and Palestinians were killed. The Palestinians were accidentally killed or whatever, and Israelis being murdered and all this sort of stuff. But then you get the real story, which has happened through social. It's happened through social media, but real journalists like. What's her name? Abby, what have I forgotten her name? Abby, I've gone blank, but those type, I'd find a name, but her and loads of other journalists who do real kind of journalism, and even people from the streets of Palestine, you can see that the shit that they're going, and the whole world knows. The crazy thing is the whole world knows that it's an oppressed people and country, and that's the crazy thing though, because now that's the one beautiful thing about, I guess, the internet and social media and all that sort of stuff. It has spread the word that the whole world knows that it's an oppressed country. You can't hide it no more. The Western media can't hide it anymore, because even you're talking about South Africa, when they finally got the freedom, they said that we would never be free. I feel it was Nelson Mandela said we will never be free until Palestine's free. Like I just saw something the other day that the Chinese president, even though China's not perfect or whatever, has made some statements about Israel, Palestine. Russia made the statements. Everyone has. Even in the White House, I think I finally heard someone question someone saying, how, are we saying anything or doing anything about it? So you can't hide it no more. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas before the internet, it's like, oh, mainstream media said it. That's it. Even I didn't know. Even I didn't know, right? And now you just see all this stuff. It's like, well, you can't hide the real truth now. It is an oppressed country, and there needs to be a solution so innocent people don't get treated. They're in prison. Innocent people could just be free, and stuff like that. So the mainstream media can't hide it anymore, and that's been one of the benefits of social media and just the internet in general. Whereas before, what can I argue with you? Like, oh, if BBC said this and I don't have any proof of anything, well, now I could go on my phone. I'm like, well, look at all of this. And they could be like, well, that's social media. Or I'm like, well, that's the BBC. Like, even with Andrew Tate recently, we saw the bullshit that he's gone through with the BBC. Like, it's so the mainstream media has been the disinformation that they've given is there's a lot of proof behind it. Again, I'm not saying that they're fake. I'm just saying that they dictate the narrative. And one day, I don't know if they're going to go out of business, or will they change things? Again, I work for the Wall Street Journal, man. I work for one of them too. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, like I say, I'm not saying it's fake news. I'm just saying it's a side of the story. You know what I mean? I would never say it's fake news, because I don't think it's fake. I just think it's one side of the story, one narrative. I'm trying to say.
Well, I mean, like, using the word story means that it's a story, isn't it? It's not the facts. It's a story that's been given to us, and I think the word story says it all. It's something that's been fabricated some shape or another, really. But what makes it even worse is that many years back when we didn't know all this stuff, we couldn't see all this stuff now, to now where we have all this information that we can see this stuff, and nothing's really changing. It just makes you think like, there is meant to be unity in this world with the higher ups and everything, but there isn't, because no one's helping. They're not helping my people, not helping your people, the people that needs it, and they have all the money that they want to, and they want to pull all the taxes up, and they want to pull all this inflation up. But really and truly, when it really comes down to it, to those who actually don't have 2 grains of rice to rub together, where's the help?
Exactly.
It's greed, man. It's all greed.
And you know what, they say this and whatnot. There shouldn't really be poor people in the world, but there is. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, let's use. Yeah, I mean, I use the US just because they're the most popular one out there and whatnot. I mean, should there really be poor people in the cities of like Chicago and all those ghettos and whatnot?
San Francisco,
but
LA.
Then you can send billions and billions or trillions of dollars towards war. And Tupac had the best quote ever: "You got money for war, but you don't have money to feed the poor." I mean, it's the best. It's the most thing ever. And the world doesn't see it. I mean, the world does see it. That's the thing. The world, or Americans, should I say, do see it. But it's crazy. It's just crazy that the way it just rolls on. But that's just the way, unfortunately, the way of the world is. It's just us general people should be united. You know what I mean? But also we fall into a separation and fall into our own tribes of, mainstream media, non-mainstream media. I don't know, UFC, Bellator, Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. We're so tribal, right? That we start dividing ourselves into
subsections
and I think that's what everyone, maybe the government or whoever, the people in charge, are scared of. That if we unite, it could be a problem. Maybe, I don't know. So that's why maybe they dictate again, like what fraction you want to be in, like with politically and whatnot, left, right, blue, red. I mean, I'm talking shit that I don't know nothing about, but all this stuff. Because I think, like, even I was having this other discussion the other day, like, with the different presidents, and everyone keeps cussing Trump. And I'm like, I know he's a prick, but they're all pricks. They're all rubbish. Like, even Obama, man, like, he was the best spokesperson and all that sort of stuff. And I say this, like, freely, everyone was like, oh, we finally got a black president. He's going to be amazing. He blew up Africa, man. He signed off so many drones to be blown up the whole of Africa and all those different countries there, and 90% of drone victims are innocent, and they're like putting that down to collateral damage. And I'm like, none of them are good, because they are people in power. Forget color, forget race. It's that position. Like, it's got nothing to do with a black man, an Arab man, a white man, whoever's in charge. It's that position is what it is. And like, so you can't cuss Trump, you can't and not cuss whoever's in charge now, Biden and Obama, and none of them are great. The only one that would ever be great is, I don't know if there is ever one, but someone who could finally bring peace to the world. And I don't know if that's an option.
I would say it has to be Abe Lincoln,
one of the greats.
He abolished slavery, or at least he was part of that process.
Yeah. Would you put JFK up there as well? Because they assassinated for a reason.
Sure.
There's got to be a reason that they killed him. I mean, I'm pointing out that I don't know if it's true, but
Same with Tupac, because I don't know if you heard, but that quote that you said, I was like, that's why I ain't here anymore.
A lot of them guys, though, Tupac, and then you got Bob Marley, and actually Bob Marley, they say died of cancer, but Huey P from the Black Panthers, you got Malcolm X, you got Martin Luther King, you got there's loads out there. People don't see that, though. I remember having this conversation with people, and they were laughing at me because I was bringing up someone like Tupac. I'm like, you laugh because you just think he's a hip hop artist. You don't understand the what he had, the what's the word, the power he had over I'm not the right word, man. The knowledge he can spread with people, and the uniting he could bring people. Same with like people like Bruce Lee. You don't know, like, these people have such powerful. You got to think about all the people that died young, right? You got to think how much they brought people together, how much they spreaded unity out there, how much of that did they spread. But people laugh. Like, I'll never forget this, because people were laughing at me because I brought up Tupac. I'm like, so what? You don't think he had any sort of positive reaction on people and bringing people together and spreading a certain
He was a poet.
message? Exactly.
He was a poet. like people see it as gangster rap and stuff. And yeah, of course, like he did delve into those elements. But if you look between the lines of the narrative he was speaking, it was about unity and poetry and just facts,
That's
really.
it.
You know?
Princess Diana is another example. In my
Yeah.
opinion, this is all my opinion, guys. Like again,
No,
she's
no,
another
no,
example. Why did
no.
she die so young? And you in a car crash? You're like, okay,
I've
if
heard a
if
lot
that's what
about
it
that
is.
one. I've heard a lot about that
And we all saw how she was out there. She led, you know, with her heart. You know what I mean? We've seen it in Game of Thrones, man. All the kings and queens that you root for are the ones that are the people's kings and queens, and the ones that are evil is the Cerseis
one.
and shit. You can't wait till they burn, but
Yeah.
they end up plotting against the good ones and whatnot. But Princess
And
Diana
they
was that.
know,
A friend of mine got super offended when I said, listen, in my opinion, I feel like, you know, she was murdered. Got super offended. I'm like, listen, that's my opinion. And he kept on saying facts, this, facts that. I'm like, okay, cool.
why
That's
did he?
facts that.
Why was he so against that then?
Because I said I made a comment saying you know, the royal family, I believe, killed her because she, you know, they didn't want her to be in charge with that kind of mentality. And he got really offended. And I'm like, look, I could be wrong. I don't have the facts because I haven't done the full research. But he was naming all these facts. I'm like, well, that's your facts. Who knows? I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah,
believe. It's just a coincidence that someone as an amazing person as her and in that sort of power, if you want to pull it,
yeah.
got killed. But that's everyone. I mean, you put those people
Yeah.
down in the same sort of group, but they're not being acknowledged because I
No,
don't
well,
know.
not how they passed. Anyway, it was always an accident or illness or something. I mean, I heard really interesting one about Bob Marley. I will send you the video about it. It's from a CIA agent who allegedly, on his deathbed, admitted that he was the assassinator of Bob Marley.
I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. Like you know, like what's his name? Reason why I brought up Bob Marley because I was listening to that tune the other day, Dead Fez, called Propaganda, and in the chorus, the guy says like they say, I don't believe Bob Marley died of cancer. Like so that's why it came to mind. But anyway,
Many don't.
uh,
Many people don't.
many people don't. That's what I'm saying. And
No.
he's just an example of a long list of people who
Mm.
die young, and you're like, well, they were making such an impact on people and
Waves,
uniting
man.
people, and then they die.
Yeah.
Like, what? How is that? Why is that? You
Mm.
know, I'm surprised Muhammad Ali didn't get killed like early. I don't know if they tried, but you know what I mean? Like he's one of them that survived till late in his life, but maybe they knew because of Parkinson's, like, oh, finally he can't actually talk, so we don't need him. But still, he was a symbol at that time. But you know, again, Malcolm X, you
Mm.
know, he's down. Again, the mainstream or the regular people think he's a terrorist because the FBI put him on a wanted list. Man, if you really read into him, man,
Mm.
he is a humanitarian, man, and he didn't provoke violence or anything.
Powerful.
You know, it
Powerful.
was always self-defense, but
Yeah.
violence was not the answer. I know Dr. Martin Luther King took that approach of like a non-violent protest, and that's, you
Mm.
know, that's the way he went, and they really emphasized on that. But with
Mm.
Malcolm X, it was the same. He just said self-defense. We will not go out and be violent, but if we need to defend ourselves, then we will defend ourselves. And then they
Mm.
twisted that to be like, oh, he's the violent one. No, he's not. He just said self-defense.
Mm.
Like his book is amazing. It's fascinating, man. Malcolm X is, you know, people
Yeah.
you know, because he's down as a terrorist, people don't know, but real things come out after, I reckon, if you really want to educate yourself and stuff.
Very much so. And there was a clip I saw with Tupac, and he was this is the early days, and he was on a talk show like Oprah or something, yeah. And it was him and a bunch of white folk, yeah, and there was a cop there, and these people were like, they were just on him, like, oh, your music incites violence, police brutality, blah blah blah, and he just eloquently just said, no, I'm talking about what's really happening in the streets, right? About police brutality to us, to whoever, and about self-defense. I'm not talking about going up, running up on a cop 187. I'm not talking about, none of this stuff. Yeah. So he put that person in place. This other woman, oh, your music makes my children blah 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 blah, and this and that. You should be talking about this stuff. And he's just like, he just said, look, the words that I'm saying is this and this and this, and he put them all in their place. And then there was a guy who was like kind of like bigging up the cop who works in South Central or whatever, and saying this, and he said, look, Tupac said something like, look, everybody's afraid of each other. Yeah. You have a gun Teflon vest, you have a helmet if it comes to it, and all this stuff. We have nothing. Yeah, we go out there, we do our thing, and like we don't have anything to defend ourselves against, you know. So like your life kind of view on things is way different to my life view on things. So our worlds don't collide. We should just be one and you know, harmonize kind of in a simpler way. But it's funny how they just tried to like ambush him on stage and make him look like he was the bad guy. Yeah, it was so funny, but he's so intelligent. He was so intelligent and so well spoken and versed and calm and humble that they just had to just be quiet afterwards.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. Like people don't know or respect the intelligence that he did have. Yes, he got involved with the other stuff, but what that makes him dumb? Do you know how intelligent like he was, and how even hip hop in general? Like people just put hip hop in general, right? People just kind of categorize it as one thing. Like real true hip hop, from what I understood back in when it first started, was, you know, I had a few different categories, and it was one of them was knowledge, right? One of them was knowledge. One was like graffiti, dancing, the what do you call it, breaking on the decks, and then one was the rhyming. Right? But one of them was knowledge, like learning, you know what I'm trying to say, and then whatnot. But people don't acknowledge that. They just see hip hop as what it is. I'm like, go listen to like it's just artistic. But that's what I'm saying. It's easy because it's hip. Oh, it's violent, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, well, whatever, man. Like it don't make no sense to me. But that's just because of like, if you don't like hip hop, that's totally fine. Like, but without understanding, not even just hip hop, anything, without understanding it, even MMA, which we should be talking about because it's cool fight. Without understanding it, remember one time when Mel Streak, I think it was on some awards show, and she goes, you know, MMA, which is not art, or some shit like that. It's like, well, you don't understand it. How could you say MMA is not art when art is A of MMA? You know what I mean? Like martial, like. You know, that's what it is. If you don't understand something, you can't really comment on it, right? If you just don't like it, then you can be like, listen, I don't like MMA. I don't like hip hop. I'm not going to comment on it and say that it's bad until I really listen to it, understood it, and say, oh, I really got into it and listened to it. And I still think it's bad because of this, this, and that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, no, you got to do that. Yeah. I imagine like a Meryl Streep kind of person is exactly the kind of character that would be in the front seat in the gladiatorial arena, blood splashing on her face. Yeah, kill him!
Exactly.
Hypocrites everywhere, man. Hypocrites all over the place.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, listen, I try my best to be objective with anything that I try to criticize. And if I don't know something, I could give you my opinion. But I will always tell you it's my opinion. This is what me and Kibbs do on the movie, the brothers geek out. Like, you know, we're going to geek out about Flash. Finally, I got a chance to watch it after Kibbs saw it 50 times. Yeah, finally. Yeah, it came out on Thursday, so I watched it. And
was it as you had hoped?
Yes, in my opinion, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, going on to this, like, in my opinion, I fucking loved it. And a lot of people want to shit on it and whatnot. But I'm like, that's opinions. Like, if I say I loved it, doesn't make it the best film in the world. And if you say you hate it, doesn't make it the shit film, worst film in the world. The point is, like, everyone's allowed their opinion. It doesn't matter if someone doesn't agree. You could be like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I liked it because of this, and I didn't like it because of this. All right, well, cool. That's it. But people get so crazy. They want you to hate it as well. They want you to love it as well. And me and Kip say this all the time. Guys, it's my opinion. I love all of it. That's the thing about all these comic book movies. I love all of it because I can like parts of it. I can like elements of it. And I can tell you, okay, the story was shit, but I like this. Or the animation was shit, but I like She-Hulk. I always bring up She-Hulk because that was one of the Marvel ones, which I really thought was shit, especially because of the animation. But I'm like, I love the fact that Daredevil was in it. I'll watch it. I would watch the Daredevil episodes again because they were so awesome. So that's why, it goes down to everything. Allow people to have their opinions. But if I haven't seen The Flash, and I was like, bro, it's shit. You'd be like, why? Trust me, it's shit, man. It's Flash. Have you seen it? No. So how could you tell me it's shit? Trust me, man, it's shit. Like, that's the same thing about anything. You can't really give a full review or opinion on something if you haven't seen it or researched it. You could just turn around. I could just turn around and say to you, no, bro, I just don't like DC stuff, so I don't like it. So I'm not gonna watch it. All right, that's it. I can't tell you it's shit. I'm just gonna tell you I'm not into DC stuff, so I'm not gonna watch it. That's it. But for me to try and convince you that it's shit, no, man, I don't have an opinion. I haven't seen it. So, I mean, I use the movie thing as an example because me and Kibbs always talk about that. But I think that's goes related to anything. Without really researching in it or experiencing yourself, you can only give an opinion, but you can't force that it's, your opinion on people. You could just be like, I don't like it,
I guess that's a comment section that I never look at, I guess, on anyone's video. You got people having back and forth about why it's this and why it's that. What does it matter? Like, why people are just enjoy the thing, man. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's it. Bro, like, I don't know if you're gonna watch it, but fuck, man, there were some enjoyable moments. There were some enjoyable moments. Me and Kibbs are gonna talk about it after. And I won't spoil anything here, but very enjoyable. I was smiling throughout the whole movie. And by the end of that movie, like, I was like, oh shit, they done some serious cool shit in this movie. I was happy. And I could definitely watch it again.
I just hope that there's gonna be things moving on from that, because I have heard some things in the background saying that it flopped and this and that. We know, whether we like it or you like it or not, if it doesn't bring the money in, then they struggle about making another movie. So I'm just hoping that if it's as good as everybody says it is, right? Not that I care about their opinion. I don't mind hearing your opinion. I don't care about it. It's enough for them to be like, okay, we finally got like our turning point. Now we can build upon this. I hope that happens. Yeah. And they don't go, oh no, it flopped. Bang.
Yeah, I mean, with the opinions, look, first of all, with movie critics and whatnot, again, when people just say, oh, the critics say it's bad, I'm like, well, let me go make my choice, my own individual. I'm not going to let people dictate what's good or bad for me, because I know what I freaking like. But then also, what was I going to say? James Gunn and DC Universe has made it very clear that, they're resetting. Yes. You know what I'm trying to say? So,
so this is okay. It doesn't matter then.
This is you could say this is the end of the Snyderverse, basically.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
So this is okay. So it is going to go that way and reset. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Just I tell you that because I want you to know that's the vision. James Gunn is starting his own. The DC Universe is resetting and starting again.
Yeah.
And I agree. Just reset. You got rid of Henry Cavill and all that. Okay, cool. Let's get a whole new cast. Let me start again, and I'm happy to. But I am not disappointed with this movie. I was so happy. I was so, when it made me smile like I watched Spider-Man Far From Home or No Way Home or whatever. Like I was smiling during the whole movie, and I was like, yeah, that was cool. I was at certain scenes, I was the only one clapping. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe he did that. So it gave me that moment, gave me those feelings. And I came out the cinema and I was just talking to my brothers. I'm like, I'm so excited, man. In my opinion, I freaking really enjoyed it. I think the DC is one of the best, the most fun and enjoyable DC movies ever. Not the best DC movie ever, but the most fun and enjoyable, in my opinion.
I hope that they continue with this momentum, regardless if it's Snyderverse, Gunverse, just this momentum. I hope that they go with that, because they did a lot of good. I mean, from what I've seen and what I've heard, they've done a lot of good, incorporated a lot of things that us as fans will appreciate, and those who aren't, just near fans should also like it too. So I hope that he does a good job with his task. I hope so. And I was saying from way back when, sorry to cut you, way back when, that if they fuck up the Snyderverse or any of that, they'll do the Flashpoint movie and they'll reset everything. And it came true. I don't know which video it was, but at least about maybe 2 or 3 years ago. That was my prediction.
The best way to do it, go watch it, man. That's all I can say. Yeah,
man, I'm on it. You need to go watch Across the Spider-Verse, man. You need to watch that.
Well, that's banned in the US, UAE. So I'll have to watch it when I come back next week.
No way. I mean, there is like Indian Spider-Man, but
it's more to do with the sexuality of a Spider-Man. Again, when someone told me it's banned, I automatically knew why it was banned. Like it's something to do with some sexuality stuff. I think there was a trans Spider-Man in there as well, and I mean, I just gotta respect. I'm gutted because I want to freaking watch it and I'm trying to avoid spoilers like the plague. But I'm like, I got to respect the law of the land here, and it is what it is. So I'll just come to the UK and watch it.
Oh, yeah, because you want to go cinema. Okay, fair enough. All right, fine. We'll talk about that when you come. But man, sounds like
Yeah,
it's
no
gonna be
spoilers. No spoilers. No
second
spoilers.
win. No. I'm just saying, it sounds like it's gonna be another win for comic book entertainment. That's all I'm saying. If
Yeah.
Flash is as you said it is, then my smile is gonna be as wide as yours.
Cool, man. Well, look, let's talk about some fight. Let's talk about some fight.
Yeah, fight.
You know, hopefully people have seen the timeline or whatnot. I'll put it in there. You could skip all of that or not, if not. But if you want to get straight to the fights and hear our thoughts on that, let's talk about it. But we did have a UFC fight card this week, and it was another high-level middleweight fight. Number 3 and 4, Marvin Vettori versus Gerard Cannonier. Great fucking fight. I mean, it goes to show, not only because it was a great fight and back and forth and whatnot, but it goes to show why it's at the highest level, like the number 3 and 4 middleweights of the world. You know what I mean? Like, that's how great the fight was, because they're top of the level and it just was back and forth. And man, you know, I was gonna say, like, after the second round, I thought Gerard Cannonier is gonna smash Vettori. Like, it looked like he was almost getting him out, but Vettori's just got a fucking chin on him and just non-stop, just hard, bro. And he put it back on him after round 3, 4, 5. I'm like, wow, this guy, again, both of them have shown why they're up there. And Vettori's just got this heart of just heart, bro. I thought he was done, but couldn't even take him out. And that's how good he is. That's how much heart he has.
That was an amazing fight. Like those guys, man. Like that needs to be fight of the night if it isn't already. It is.
Has to be. I don't know. I haven't seen the post-fight interviews.
Okay, but it has to be. That was what a display, man. What a display. What's next for those two? Cannonier gonna fight who then? We got Whitaker against Duplessis, right? Duplessis, sorry. And then Cannonier now won. So what? He's fourth, third?
Yeah. So he could fight the loser of that, you can say. I mean,
so, okay, yeah, that could make sense. What do you reckon about that fight? Whitaker is gonna take Duplessis, you think?
I think so. I think Whitaker's just. I mean, nothing against Duplessis. I mean, he's freaking top of the game or whatnot. I just think Whitaker's just the intelligence, man. He's just, you know what I mean? He's just got such a fight IQ. He's just so like, you know. I think his skill set, his well-roundedness, his fight intelligence, the way he improves. I think he could definitely get the win on that one.
That's how I see a third fight with Izzy coming up between Whitaker and Adesanya. That's what I see happening. So I guess Cannonier will probably fight Duplessis. I mean, you never know. This is UFC. Anything could happen. You know, on the day, someone could just get caught with something or whatever. But as it stands, I think with joint opinion, Whitaker will win that fight. Get the third bout with Izzy. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I think so. And I reckon Whitaker will give Izzy an even harder fight on the third fight.
Unless he charges up and does something else, because second one, a lot of people said it was close, right? I gotta watch the fight again, but I think I think in regards to like rematches, I think Izzy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, Izzy's the best in the world. He's super intelligent as well. But I think with what's his name, Whitaker's intelligence as well, it kind of matches up Izzy. That's what makes it so exciting. Like, yes, Izzy, I don't want to say he's one step ahead, but obviously he is, because he's beaten him twice and he's a champion or whatnot. But Whitaker's intelligence and improvement is just up there, which makes it such a fun fight. It's not gonna be like, oh, well, Izzy's just going to smash him again, because it's not the case. You know what I'm saying? If that was the case, then you're like, they're just worlds apart. I do think Izzy's apart, but Robert Whitaker's like intelligence and again, everything just kind of brings him on the same sort of level in some instances. So it makes the fight more exciting.
Way more. Yeah, I think, especially the way that he's been winning his fights, quite convincingly, Whitaker, since he lost to Izzy as well. It shows his improvement is vast. But anyway, back to Cannonier. Yeah, amazing fight, amazing feat. It was very entertaining, and I can't believe that
Definitely.
he couldn't finish him. Couldn't take out Marvin. That's
He's
incredible.
got great cardio though, man. I mean, in the round 5, you were seeing him using different angles and distant like shuffle steps to the left and all this sort of stuff. I'm
His
like, man, he's great cardio.
his team, right? His team, like they really gave him a real good talking to, and he did really listen to them and implement those changes that you spoke about, which made it because I like round 4 or 5, you're thinking, okay, Canada's gonna catch him, he's gonna drop, and he's gonna finish him at some point, right? But he just kind of woke up and was like, nah,
You mean Vettori?
like
You're talking about Vettori here?
Vittori,
Yeah, yeah,
Vittori
yeah,
woke
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Vittori woke up. He was getting like drowned with punches and whatnot, and then he woke up, and so yeah, hats off to his heart and his corner.
Definitely. Yeah,
His
definitely. I mean, how do you knock that guy out? Maybe he just can't be knocked out because he's
head
just
kick,
different.
head. It has to be a head kick or something.
Yeah, from a
Some
heavyweight. Well,
it has
technically,
to be.
Jared Cannonier was a heavyweight,
It
but
was a heavyweight. Yeah. Oh
yeah.
man, like I give up mad props to both those guys, man. It was incredible to see.
This is
And it
what I
was a
love
record,
about
right?
these little. Yeah, yeah. He's the most
Most
significant strikes in the middleweight division.
214, 16,
Yeah,
18.
and that's because most people can't survive that many strikes, significant strikes. They get knocked out or whatever. Vettori made that happen as well because of his
Yeah,
heart and the way he just can't get
200.
knocked out.
I'll be very surprised if he doesn't have a concussion.
I mean,
I'll be very
all
surprised.
of them must do. I think I faced a concussion this week, man. I didn't say it. I went to training this week and we done a bit of MMA, a boxing sparring at the end of MMA. And I don't know
Yeah.
why this happened, but it was actually the wrestling coach as well. And I was like, I don't know why he did this, but he just threw a really, I wouldn't say it was his hardest right hand, but he just threw it with a lot of power and it just connected straight on me. And obviously he's bigger than, obviously I'm the smallest guy in the class and whatnot. Actually, I wouldn't say I faced a concussion. No, I didn't, because I didn't have a headache or none of that sort of stuff. But I took it actually quite well. But it was so loud that even the one of the professional fighters, she was like, "Why?" Why would you? And he was like, he stopped, and I stopped. I was like, "Yeah, you definitely like rocked me, right?" And he was like, "Oh, I didn't know it was that hard." And she was like, "I heard it from across the gym." And then he came up to me and he apologized. He goes, "I thought you were gonna move. I didn't realize it." And I'm like, "It's cool, it's cool. I'm nothing's broken. I feel cool. Like let's just carry on sparring." But in my head, I was like, "Oh, you're the wrestling coach, man. Take it easy, bro. Like you don't need to give me that." Yeah. But I think from his perspective, if I'm trying to look, one, I should have blocked, obviously, but that's the whole point of sparring. You're trying to catch each other. Like you're gonna get hit. Everyone always say you're not gonna go in the rain and not get wet. I just think he should have just slowed down the punch a little bit more, like rather than just. He didn't want. Like, listen, obviously, he could have knocked me out if he wanted to, but just slow down the wind of it. You know what I mean?
Did you
But
catch him beforehand? Is that what it was? He was just like, "Oh, little bastard! Yeah. Oh
no,
shit!
no, I
Sorry, man."
don't think so. I
Okay.
mean, I was in his face, but I was just like, I was like, oh, cool. I'll spar with you. I think it's gonna be not easy. I think you're gonna be in control, but obviously, he wasn't. So I'm like, coach, we ain't sparring. I ain't sparring with you. But he was very apologetic after, and I'm like, no, it's cool. I just wanted to spar with you because I just naturally assumed you'll be way more in control than anyone else. But I think I don't think he meant to hit me and whatnot. Like, I think he just should have wind down a little bit on the torque of his punch, basically. Yeah. Anyway, why did I go to that? Because of concussion. Yeah, I mean, most probably got concussion, man. Shit. I mean, them guys, man. How could you have a 5-round fight? They're gonna be feeling fucked today, tomorrow. All of them do, man. After a fight, I'll never forget. After my second fight, I think it was, man. I was fucked. I had to go to a wedding straight after it. And I was just in pain. My legs were hurting and my back was hurting. And I'll never forget that one. That one, I felt immediately the most pain. But I remember after I feel it was my third one, which was when I kept on going against a guy who just kept on picking me up and slamming me onto the floor. Like I'm talking about this guy, like literally would pick me off my feet, freaking dump me with his weight. And I remember on the fight, like adrenaline's rushing, it's cool. The next day, bro, when I went to sleep and I woke up the next day, I couldn't move. My body was stiff. He damaged my whole body in that fight. So I can't even imagine what these guys go through after what they've gone through. They must feel like shit the next day.
Listen, I bet they can't wait to get in that fucking ice bath.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You got to get in the ice bath and get cryotherapy going on. Otherwise, you're done. Anyway, that was the first fight. Right? Oh, that was the main fight. Did you see Arman Tsarukyan?
Another great fight, man. Another great high-level fight, man. I mean, Armen, I mean, he had that close fight with the champ Islam Makhachev and whatnot. And
he called him out or he didn't? I missed the call out.
He did say he wants to fight him for the title. He goes, look, I fought Islam in 3 weeks and I gave him that fight. Give me 6 weeks, you know. But you know, Silva was no slouch, man. He put it on him. I mean, the first round you just thought, you know, Arman just gonna wrestle him and smash him and whatnot, and he was doing that the first round. But you know, Silva put it on him, and even I think it was it round 2 or something? He kind of rocked him a little bit. Yeah, man. So great fight, you know, another high-level fight or whatnot. And Arman's definitely another great contender in that lightweight division. It's exciting, bro. That lightweight division's got a few people up there, and he's up there. You know, maybe a Benil Dariush for him next, you know. That might be another fun fight.
That's a good idea. And he's young. He's 26 as well. He's got years behind, years ahead of him as well. So
that's it.
Hopefully more to come from that young man. What else? I didn't see the next fight, you know. Did you?
That was Armen Petrosyan versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I don't know these guys, to be honest. I'm not gonna say I'm familiar with them. However, Christian was starting off with like almost looking like MVP. I think he's a British, he's British dude. Yeah, almost looking a bit like MVP and moving in that sort of, and he's fine. Yeah, just like the side shuffles and whatnot. And he was throwing like spinning kicks and wild attacks and whatnot. But Armen kept his composure and then used his boxing range. It was actually really cool. I mean, Christian's defense was still good considering he was throwing like spinning kicks and flying knees and all this sort of stuff. But Armen again just kept his composure and then ended up when he was in that boxing range, you know, using his boxing to kind of get the strikes in, and then, you know, he does some takedowns and everything. It was a great fight. It's actually a fun fight, fun back and forth fight.
I'll pick that one up then, because I was like, let me let's get into the podcast and I'll watch that one later, because I just wanted to see all the ones that had finishes to be like, oh, you know.
Well, talk about finishes, man. Did you see the next two? Because the next one was Sabatini versus Lucas Almeida. Did you see that finish?
I saw the finish submission. Yeah, I saw that.
That was a wrestling clinic. That was like a smash, bro. Because round one, I thought it was gonna be over then, and then round 2, he finished it, man. So it just amazing wrestling, amazing control. Of course, you know, Almeida's an amazing jiu-jitsu artist, but wrestling is what controlled that. You know, it nullified any Almeida's like be it submissions or just movement. And then they just smashed him and then got him in the arm triangle. So absolutely amazing. The one before that, did you see that elbow, bro?
I saw that fucking finish, man.
Manuel Torres versus Nikolas Motta.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
Beautiful elbow.
You don't see many of those in UFC.
Not like that. I mean, because he cleared the range. I think he positioned his feet in a position where he can get close enough and just smashed that elbow and just knocked him out. The way he went down was like, it was out cold, like straight. It was amazing.
It reminds me of, did you see the one with Rodtang, his last fight?
I can't remember. That was the one in the US, right?
Yeah, and the guy went for a spinning back fist. He kind of ducked it. And
yes, exactly. But the reason why I think this one was, I mean, Muay Thai master or whatnot, so he's probably got millions of elbow finishes. But the reason why I love this one is he cleared the range, because that one, the guy was already in range and threw a spinning attack. Well, he cleared the range that they were in.
He got
to strike with that short range attack. It was actually really cool.
It was nice. Because didn't he was hand fighting with his left hand. Was that right? Or
I think so.
Made him go into it. It was he positioned it well. Whereas with Rodtang's one, he was given that opportunity in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what made that knockout amazing. Apart from all the other good stuff that came from it, it was just like, wow, you got into that range to land that shot is really awesome.
That was special. And I see like his record because they showed him before his tape and just a bunch of knockouts. I think he's had about 3 or 4 knockouts leading up to that, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's like it was on 11. Shit, I can't remember what they say. It was like 11 fight win. No, no, not win streak. No, sorry. He's won 11 fights in the first round or something like that.
Right. And okay. And they've all been by knockout or something, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when I saw that, okay, oh yeah, well, it was his left elbow. So he fought his hands with the right one and finished him with the left elbow. Um, yeah, man. I don't even know this guy, but I'm gonna watch him from now on.
Oh yeah, this is what I love about these. See, this is what I'm saying. This is what I love about these UFC fight cards, right? Because I'm definitely gonna watch Jared Cannonier versus Marvin Vettori. I'm in, right? But then you watch the whole card, and I know sometimes I don't get a chance to watch the prelims, but when you watch the whole card, you kind of get introduced to some of these other guys, and you're like, oh, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm in. Next time he's fighting, I'm in. And that's what the prelims are about. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to watch the prelims for this card. To be honest, I'm gonna pull it on after this, to be honest. And then but yeah, no, that's what I love.
Me as well. I was gonna say he won his last 3 fights in knockout. Manuel Torres, by the way. He knocked out Frank Camacho.
Who remind me again?
He's a Hawaiian guy, or is he Filipino? It was his last fight. It was Manuel Torres' last fight, and he took out Frank Camacho, who I actually followed on my first Instagram way back when. Did he follow me? I remember he liked something. I was like, yo, you're UFC. Oh, and then I saw his fight. It was way back, but yeah. Anyway, he's got 3 knockouts in his last 3 fights. So yeah, keep it up, man.
That's awesome, man. I mean, what else was there? Was there anything else that caught your eye on that card? Or I mean, I know there's some Bellator this week. Do you want to shift over to that? I mean, I didn't watch it, but I saw some of the highlights and whatnot. Well, I guess I read more.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, Yoel fought again, Mr. Soldier of God. Did you see anything of that fight?
I saw a funny meme. I saw a funny meme of him. There was a moment in the fight where he was just acting drunk. No. Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, okay. He did exactly what he did against Adesanya.
Just what didn't do that.
Just a robot. Like his athleticism is still there, even though he's 46 years old. He has all of that. He doesn't go to wrestling anymore, maybe because of his gas tank. I don't know. But he just seems to have this approach where he's going to use his athleticism and his reflexes to do a big shot, and that's it. So he was getting pieced up by is it Nemkov?
Yeah, Vadim Nemkov. Yeah,
he was doing a brilliant job of just finding his angles, piecing him up, and it's very easy to hit a stationary target. And that's what he was for most of that fight. He had a couple opportunities in the 5th round. He took down Nemkov, and Nemkov didn't have an answer for it. And I was thinking, oh, so you're telling me you could have done possibly this beforehand with you not being tired and maybe done something, and you didn't. And so it was hats off to him being 46 years old, going through 4 rounds, get to the 5th round, and be able to do a takedown and do his stuff. His conditioning is there, but I don't know. It's like he's not really in the fight to have a fight to win it. It's weird. I don't know. It's very strange. But in my opinion, given how the fight ended and what we've seen him do before, I don't know Nemkov that well, but I feel like it could have been his to lose if he wanted it. If he had the same kind of game plans and whatnot, and the fact that he could take him down so easily and Nemkov had no answer to it, you just lost that fight, man. Could have been yours. That's my
okay, interesting.
Nemkov was incredible. Yeah, he did everything he needed to do. It was the fight that a champion should take against someone dangerous as Yoel Romero.
Yeah. Okay. I need to watch the highlights at least. I didn't get a chance to watch them, but I saw the results all over the place and whatnot.
Pettis?
Yeah, I saw that. I
need to watch that fight. Go on.
Did Pettis go up or did he go? Because Pitbull, I thought was lightweight. So did Pitbull go down?
He went down. Yeah, he went down. It was his first time going down to bantam feather. What?
Bantam, yeah, bantamweight.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I saw that was it Anthony Pettis bet 50K on his brother and he won.
He bet 50K on his brother. Well,
Yeah.
good for him, man. It's just what he should do, isn't it? Yeah.
He won 160. So like beers on him.
Nice. Well, that's awesome for the Pettis brothers.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, again, I didn't watch this. I'm just kind of putting out the results out here. Corey Anderson versus Phil Davis. Corey Anderson won by decision.
Did he?
Yeah.
He missed out on the belt, didn't he, beforehand? Because he had a chance to win the belt and he lost it.
In Bellator.
In Bellator, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a chance because he beat somebody and they were in the Grand Prix, I think. And he had a chance, so he's probably having to work his way up again, I think.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, I need to. What I'm gonna do, because man, after this I gotta sort out some taxes and shit. So I'm gonna leave the fights on in the corner. So I'm gonna try and watch the highlights of it while I do that.
Right. It was Nemkov that he actually went to fight against, and he lost.
Okay. Well, I guess Nemkov's just showing why he's the champion. I mean, I again.
They fought twice, by the way. Sorry to cut. They fought twice. Corey Anderson beat Ryan Bader when he in his third fight even, and then he had a fight that against Nemkov, but it was a no contest, clash of heads, and then they fought again, and he lost by decision.
Okay.
Yeah. You were saying?
No. I'm just saying I need to catch the fights. I'm gonna put them on while I sort out some taxes and shit. After this,
let's do it. Life admin.
Yeah, I wish I could just pay. I mean, I'm paying. Anyway, let's not get into that. But fights, that's it, bro. I mean, other than that, next week we got another UFC fight card: Josh Emmett versus Topuria.
Oh yeah,
high level featherweight fight.
Someone's getting knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, who else is on that card, man? Amanda Rebus is on that card. You got
Amanda Rebus. Oh, she's the one with that.
Is that her? Oh shit!
Yeah, she got the witch voice, man.
Neil Magny's fighting.
She got that old lady witch voice. Cody Brandage.
There's this dude who looks like you know, in Naruto, who's the guy that Izzy likes? The kung fu guy, the type. What's that guy with the bushy brow? He calls him bushy brow.
Rock Lee.
Don't this guy look like Rock Lee? Wait.
Rock Lee.
Look at the hairstyle.
Yeah, Rock Lee. Yeah,
his name is. Yeah, I'm not gonna pronounce that. He's from Kazakhstan. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name, but
one of them brothers. Rock Lee was my guy, for obvious reasons as well. But as I went through this series, I realized like he can fight in taijutsu, which is hand to hand. But when it comes to doing any like spells and magic and stuff, he got none of that, you know?
So yeah, I just got back into, when I say just got back into, I've been watching it, then I have breaks and I come back on. So I'm on, again, no spoilers, but it's on,
sure.
There's the lady with the crystal power, and they found the third tail, they're fighting against, what's his name, Urachimaru, and then they're trying to summon the third tail monster thing or whatever, and there's a lady with a crystal style.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, I'm loving it. Okay, of course,
good.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm like, listen.
Good.
What I love about it is like they're 20-minute episodes. There's 1,000 of them or whatnot, and I just when I get a chance to put one on while I'm having a cup of tea or eating something, I'll just put it on. So yeah, I'm gonna download a few of them for my flight back to the UK. So yeah, love it.
It's gonna get emotional, man. At some point, like, let me know how that goes, man.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. All right. Well, look, man, I think we spent most of this podcast talking about life, but that's what we do. We geek out. I know it's a fight talk, and we definitely give our thoughts about fights, but we obviously catch up about everything, man, and we give our thoughts about whatever, man. We just talk. So another interesting. Oh, go on.
One more, which we already talked about. Corey Sandhagen. You know what I'm talking about.
Versus Umar, yes, and the announcement. Oh, yes, I'm glad you brought this up. There's a couple of announcements that came up. But we spoke about this. That's going to be a good fucking fight.
We knew it's going to. Oh, yes.
Good fucking fight.
Yes. Oh, yes. When you know when it's coming? It's this year.
August?
No, it's October.
Is it October? I think it might be August.
Let me check.
Because you also got Max Holloway versus Korean Zombie, which is another fucking fun fight.
Oh yes, yes. That doesn't even say actually, but it was announced for this year though, wasn't it?
Yes. A couple months. I want to say it was in August, bro.
Okay, so he accepted. Announced. August the 5th. You're right.
So good. Such a good fight. That's such a good fucking fight. Yes, 100%. Very good fight. That's one of the best announcements. That one, Max Holloway, there's three announcement. What was the other one?
They still haven't locked down what's his name yet. Hamzat and Usman.
No, I mean, I reckon they're fighting in October in Abu Dhabi, no doubt. I reckon.
Yeah. Okay, that would make sense.
No doubt. Yeah. They're saving, I reckon 100% they're saving them for that card. Islam and Hamza. I mean, I feel like you could have given I don't know what's happening with Hamza. Like I said, he was in Dubai. I don't think he's here now, but that Umar versus Corey, that's such a high level fight. I mean, Corey Sandhagen's already proved himself, and Umar's just coming up, and he's another exciting prospect from the Khabib camp. Let's see let's see if he's up there, if he beats Sandhagen, obviously he's up there. If he puts on a great fight, obviously he's up there. But if Sandhagen does what he does, because he's absolutely amazing, then it goes to show that Uman's got a lot to go. But these guys, man, they're just amazing.
The thing is with that fight is that Umar has way more to lose, to gain.
Yes.
Sandhagen's way more to lose. It's a dangerous fight for him. But we are both very happy that because it's fucking exciting to see.
Super
exciting.
Dangerous
on the rankings wise. It's dangerous.
Super excited fight. I'm looking forward to that fight. It's such a good fight. Such a good fight for that division. So exciting.
Two more things before we go. Yeah, one of it. The first thing is, it looks like Stipe and Jones is off, and it's gonna be Pavlovich.
It's gonna be yeah.
You heard much about that?
I haven't heard much, but I've heard that rumor as well. Yeah, that it's looking in that direction, which is a shame for Stipe. I don't know what happened, but
it's what we manifested. I think we all knew that made the most sense, and we gonna get it. So thank you, MMA gods, for giving us
for Jones versus Pavlovich after that last fight.
For me, that made the most sense. When it was Stipe, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was even saying to you, he's gonna wash him. Yeah, I've got nothing at Stipe, but I just felt like prime wise and skill wise and stuff, he's not gonna get completely washed, okay? But I think Jones is gonna take that fight. Whereas Pavlovich, I feel like that is more of a challenge for Jones. I mean, outwardly looking in, we all thought Cyril Gane was gonna be a big challenge for Jones. I mean, we're wrong. But still, it just feels more exciting him fighting Pavlovich in my opinion.
Okay.
That's gonna happen. And there's one more. John Jones and Francis Ngannou met in the PFL.
I saw that interaction. That was a nice interaction because I think because like Ngannou's not the type. I mean, yes, he throws little jabs, but I think he's all about respect as well. Like Ngannou's very humble. Like if you listen to him, and he was just telling Jones, like, I think he ended it with saying something like, just play the game, but don't let the game play you. Like this is all about respect and not hate between us. You know what I mean? It's not personal between us. This is just about business between us. But don't let the game play you. You know what I mean? Like don't let it play you in the sense that like make you hate me and all that sort of stuff. That's not what it's about. And I love that. I love that about Ngannou.
That's good. I heard whispers of the conversation, and it just looked like it needed to happen. It needed to happen. Like, forget, all this other noise here. You and I are good.
Yes.
And when these guys decide to make it work, then we're still going to be good.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I'm glad that happened. That's all I got, man. That's my last few bones for this conversation.
All right. Awesome. Well, man, it was a good conversation as always, and we will catch up next week.
Yeah.
In London.
Maybe I'll even see you. Who knows?
Maybe, man. Let's talk during the week, bro. Let's talk during the week and see what we can figure out. Because maybe we could just do this together in London, in the same fucking room.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk. But man,
herbal tea.
Herbal tea, exactly. All right, bro. Well, look, my guys, thanks everyone again, as usual, for watching and listening and giving us the support as always. And you know, we're just gonna come on here and express ourselves and geek out about fights.
Let us know. Let us know what you guys think. Is it better to have Popovich versus Jones, or do you want to see Stipe fight? Put it in the comments. Let us know what you think is the more better fight for us to watch.
Well, all right, yeah, man. Comment and subscribe and like and all the other good shit. All right, guys, we out. Peace. Let me get a quick picture, man.